Hey guys, if you're enjoying the content that I'm making, please click that subscribe button. Also remember to click that bell button and make sure to tick that box to send all notifications so you don't miss out on any videos. With that in mind, let's get on with the video. What's up guys, welcome to Munchkins Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkins logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the new character event of Auron, the legendary Guardian. Well, so what do you guys know? It's going to be a day one release video for me. This is quite unprecedented. As you guys know, I finally finished my night shift duties last week, and that's my last bits of nights up until a certain point again, somewhere down in the future. But the next 4 weeks for me should be safe. No night shift, so do expect a lot earlier videos or on time videos. But in any case, let's talk about this fight. So I do believe this is the very first time that we are actually traded to a two-wave level 70 co-op fight here in the global servers. Now, just a little background story for you guys. As you guys know, may or may not know, that I actually played the Japanese version of this game. And while I do play the Japanese version of this game, I played very casually, so I try not to spoil myself when it comes to these fights, and this has caught me by surprise. Having two waves is actually something new to me as well, and I was very excited when I saw it. I was like, oh, we actually have two waves, and I actually been going in my head like things that they can improve on in terms of, like, you know, the game itself, because having one wave fights, it's basically, I don't know, it's very easy in a way, because you know, you just use your abilities. You try not to, you don't hold back, or do I do this, do I do that. It's just like use your abilities as soon as you can, and then you'll kill the boss a lot faster. So yeah, this caught me by surprise, and I just want to let you guys know that these kinds of things, that the character events and stuff, like, oh man, I still get surprised by little things like this. Anyway, let's get on with the actual fight. I just want to tell you guys a little bit of story there. So here we fight the Iron Giant and the Red Giant. It's pretty self-explanatory. These giants have their brave attack and leaping swings. The only difference between the two is the Iron Giant uses haste and the Red Giant uses mighty guard. So it's up to you guys. Take your pick which one you want to kill first. Obviously, in this particular fight, you don't want to use too much of your abilities on these two Iron Giants. You want to save them for the actual boss on the last wave. And do not use your summons as well, because you want to again keep that for the actual boss. The Iron Giant and the Red Giant do not have any weaknesses or resistances, so just play as you will, I guess. But yeah, my only tip is try not to, maybe you can use half of your abilities, but definitely do not use your summon for this fight. So now that we've covered the first wave, that was pretty easy and quick. Honestly, I made it a lot longer than it should have been. Let's take a look at the final boss. So the actual boss that you guys will face here is the Iron Worm. Now the Iron Worm has a couple of weaknesses and a couple of resistances. It's weak to fire and thunder based attacks, and has a resistance on ice and dark attacks. As for its abilities, I haven't covered any of the Iron Worms before in the past, so we're gonna cover its abilities here. So the first one is the Blast Bomb, which is a brave magic attack and an HP attack. It has Bullet Tornado, which is a wind brave magic attack, and Iron Head as its melee brave attack, and Reaper for a group melee brave attack. Now you'll probably experience this a lot, but it'll use group gravity spin, which changes its own brave based on the total enemy's current HP. And it will actually do a group HP magic attack as well. Has the Iron Defense, which grants Brave regen to itself and raises its own defense, and this will turn into Steel Defense at level 70, which basically grants it a magic damage resist up, and in addition to the effects of the Iron Defense, of course, and it further raises its defense. It has Earthquake, which is a group Earth Brave magic attack, and finally it has Saliva, which is a Brave magic attack which inflicts speed down on its target. So as you guys can see, the Iron Worm is actually quite diverse. It has wind attacks, and it has, you know, earth attacks, and has melee attacks, group melee attacks, magic attacks, and although we as players, or the characters that we use, don't have any resistances or weaknesses to elemental attacks, I find it quite fascinating. That it has all these different types of elemental attacks. So maybe in the future we will have some sort of weaknesses and resistances, but in the meantime, there's really not much to worry about in terms of elemental attacks. But let's get on with the tips for this fight. So like I said earlier, try to minimize your ability usage during the first wave. This is very, very important because you want to have at least half of your abilities for the Iron Worm. And next is obviously bring the boosted characters such as Auron, Vincent, and Cyan. Auron is obviously the character event that we have at the moment, and I feel like Vincent is the most diverse one here because he can use Beastly Flare for fire damage and Live Wire for thunder-based damage, which sort of covers both the weaknesses of the Iron Worm. The other option is to bring a healer, Brave Battery like Aiko, Aerith, and Penelo. Again, I didn't forget about Penelo, guys. Next up is obviously take advantage of the double weaknesses and its double resistance. So Lightning, Cryle, and Edge have all thunder-based abilities, and Steiner has fire-based abilities. Now you guys might think, well, Papalymo has fire-based abilities as well, and yes, you're correct, but you can't use the Umbral Ice ability on the Iron Worm. But I suppose you can use it on the Iron Giants, so there you go, that's one of the other options there. And finally, for the summons, I do recommend bringing Ifrit and Ramu here. I do feel like even though the Chocobo and Sylph are decent, you have to take advantage of the elemental weakness of the Iron Worm. And the other thing, the other reason why I will recommend Ramu or Ifrit is because you will actually build up the summon by the time you get to the last wave. And you know, maybe if you use too much of your abilities in the first wave, it won't be fully charged up, but in most cases it should be fully charged up by the time you get to the last boss, and you know, you can take advantage of the fire and thunder weakness of the Iron Worm. But anyway, guys, I think that's it for this video. Remember to click like, subscribe, and share this video if you find it helpful at all. As always, I'd like to hear from you guys. Were you surprised that we have 2 waves in this character event? And make sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter. This is Munchkins logging off, and I'll see you guys in the next level.